How do people live in developing countries? How do I think they live? Well, actually, believe it or not, I grew up in a developing country. I was born in the Philippines, and I lived there until I was 9 years old. But basically, after we moved to Canada, I became completely Canadian. So I'm not really somebody from a third world country. I really am Canadian. But I remember some of the things that I saw when I was a boy, and I went to the Philippines for a vacation back in 2009. And those images came back to me when I was visiting there, looking at people in poverty, seeing beggars on the street. That was also something that I saw when I went to Nepal for a vacation. Um, and it's hard to see. It makes you think about the life that you have, the lucky life that you have as a first world person. We live in Japan. That's the first world. We have all kinds of things, cars, toilets with heated seats, and then people in third world countries basically don't have. Um, I would even say they don't even have 50% of what we have, and it should make us grateful. It should also make us think, what can we do? We can't go on letting this difference between the people who are poor and the people who are rich continue. And I think, without saying too much about what I think we should do, I think all of us should consider that every time you see someone who's poor, remember that that could be you. That, if not for the lucky circumstances of how you were born or who your parents were, or I don't know, maybe even just the fact that you're really good looking or you're really athletic, that could be you. Don't think also too that poor people exist only in poor countries. There are homeless people in Japan. You just don't see them very much. There are children who are poor who can't go to school and you just don't see them very much. That doesn't mean that they don't exist. And I think part of a good life is the idea that you should try to help these people. And I think that's what you can take away from the idea of how people live in developing countries.